Time is 7:45, and we are jump-starting your week at Chicago's Intuit Art Museum, recognized worldwide as one of the few institutions dedicated solely to supporting the work of self-taught artists. Our producer Tom Barnas has more from West Town this morning. Such a cool spot to check out. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Marissa. I'm here with Debra Kerr, the president and CEO of Intuit Art Museum. How you doing?
I'm great, thanks, Tom.
So, for folks who've never been here before, we're kind of in the front space here. So tell me a little bit about the museum and the space that we're in.
Sure. Well, Intuit Art Museum is a really special thing for Chicago. Chicago is recognized as one of the first places in the United States to embrace self-taught art as a legitimate genre, and that's why Intuit Art Museum is here in Chicago. And in this room, we're celebrating works by Henry Darger, probably the most well-known outsider self-taught artist in the world. And he was a Chicago guy. Even a lot of Chicagoans don't know about him, but he made this incredible art in secret in his apartment in Lincoln Park. And as you can see, he was obsessed with the weather, so we're kind of celebrating Chicago weather.
And that's up at the top there.
That's what we're seeing up there is some animation to commemorate his obsession. He made weather reports of the Chicago weather, and he drew it into his artworks.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah. There's a little tease later on because we're going to see some of that recreation of his apartment, right?
Absolutely.
So you guys did a big renovation last year. That's what you're looking at here. This is the space that you have opened up a little bit more to make it more welcoming, brighter, the whole thing.
Exactly. We want to be the most welcoming and accessible space in Chicago. If you've never been to a museum before, we want Intuit Art Museum to be your first museum. We want you to feel like this is a place for you. And because of that, a lot of the art that we celebrate is made by people who have no training in art.
That's incredible.
And their work is just expressions of their own lived experiences, their lives, and you can see that really clearly here in our first gallery space. These are works by Dr. Charles Smith. Dr. Charles Smith is someone who celebrates the lives of African Americans, people who might have been overlooked in what we call an anti-monumentalism exhibition, sort of against what we see in terms of traditional monuments. And he's celebrating regular people who lived their lives. In some cases, he's celebrating people who helped others in the Underground Railroad, and people who faced hardships like many folks did.
It is astonishing that these folks are self-trained, self-taught. It is wonderful, and that's what this entire museum is dedicated to. We're going to get a little bit more of a tour, different rooms. There's an upstairs, there's a downstairs, a whole lot of things, but we're going to save a little bit for later on this morning. Marissa, back to you.
All right, lots to see there, Tom, at the Intuit Museum. Thank you so much. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
No problem.
We're jump-starting your week at Chicago's Intuit Art Museum, recognized worldwide as one of the new institutions dedicated solely to supporting the work of self-taught artists. Our producer Tom Barnas has more from West Town. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Dave. We're here in the Jan Petrie Gallery, and this gallery space has a lot of unique characteristics with the artwork. I mean, look at this one right here. Fantastic space. But I thought I'd bring in an expert to kind of help me out with all of the different spaces and things that are in this room. Allison Amick, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. You're the chief curator. Tell me about Jan Petrie and the work that we're looking at here.
Absolutely. Jan Petrie was a longtime supporter of Intuit and a really important collector in the city of Chicago. And this recent bequest of works from her collection is such an amazing addition to the city. Right behind me, for example, we have this amazing piece by Reverend Samuel David Phillips, and it's just one of a number of works you can see on view. I mean, so many different artworks, mediums, sculpture, drawings, paintings.
What was her her muse of the collection? You know, because there's so many different things that are in this space.
Yes, she was really interested, as I think you get a sense in walking through the space, in objects with strong design principles. She was really interested in collecting artists who became known in the field of self-taught art. She was someone who was really committed to finding the best work and bringing it into her collection.
Yeah, look at that Wrigley Field one.
Absolutely, isn't it an amazing piece? You know, so important in our location in Chicago, and just a fun addition to the collection.
And then you have that wonderful boat that is there. I mean, it's just very eclectic.
Yeah, she was really, you know, into folk art early in her collecting days, and so that this boat is such a wonderful example of that area of her collection.
And then you also have this wonderful spot right there that is the pirate hat.
Yes, another baseball reference. It is the season. This beautiful piece by Howard Fenster.
And then tell me about this space really quick. We're running out of time, but this is another artist, another gallery completely.
Absolutely, and it's such a great compliment to Jan's collection. This is work by Bill Brady, who is based in Pennsylvania, and all the works you see are made from roofing tin and welding rods, and he's never really shown outside of Pennsylvania, so we are so excited to bring his work here.
This is a fantastic space. Be sure to come and check out Intuit Art Museum, one of the only museums devoted to self-taught artists. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tom. We are jump-starting your week at Chicago's Intuit Art Museum. It's recognized worldwide as one of the few institutions dedicated solely to championing the work of self-taught artists. And we're joined now by Debra Kerr, Intuit Art Museum's president and CEO. Good morning, Debra.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Can you start out with how the museum came to be?
Well, sure. The museum has been around in the Chicago area since '91. We've been in this location in Westtown at Milwaukee and Chicago Avenue since '99. We had a big expansion last year to triple the size of the museum, and we're hoping that brings more tourists as well as Chicagoans into the museum.
Debra, can you tell us a little bit more about the art there and the pieces of art that you're surrounded by?
We're very proud to be showcasing the work of artists who are self-taught. And one of the things that a lot of people are not aware of is one of the most internationally famous self-taught artists in the world is Henry Darger. And I'm standing here in front of the recreated room, living and working space of Henry Darger. He lived a mostly reclusive life in a rooming house in Lincoln Park, and we have all of the original objects from his room right here recreated. Everything in the room is real down to the fireplace tiles, and what you're seeing is an animation of the recreated world. He imagined another universe. He wrote a 15,000-page good versus evil Tolkien-esque novel where 7 Vivian girl princesses who, like Joan of Arc, amass armies to defeat bad guys, the evil Glendolinians, and then he illustrated it. So what we're imagining here is Henry in his room, typing his story, painting his story. He looks out the windows and there's Chicago and trees outside, but suddenly he imagines a transformation and he's in the realms of the unreal, this other universe he created through his artwork and his writings. I would say that about half of our guests come just to learn more about Henry Darger, and that's why we've got this recreated room here with all of his belongings.
And Debra, real quick, what is your take on AI and its effect on this type of human-created art?
Well, of course, nothing can replace what humans do in terms of art. I would say, though, if I had a self-taught artist who came to me and said, I used AI to create this piece, we would seriously look at it.
All right, Debra, thank you to Debra Kerr at the Intuit Art Museum in Westtown. Go take a look.